Hi, this is David with the Discount Dragon again, and we're here doing the pewter spoon casting, which spoons we cast, and this is the do-over video, because the first one turned out very poorly. So we're going to show you how the new mold's coming along. Here it is, and as you can tell, it's so professional. Held together with the wire and shims and stuff in a cardboard box, but it is working better. And of course we have correct safety gear. This is called a shawak. It's a French fire handling device.
You need some googly eyes on it.
I know. That'd be cute. Okay, so got some wire and shims, just kind of pressing it together so it didn't leak. But the new mold is a two-piece with a two-piece rigid shell. Of course, the center, the yellow part in here, is amazing mold putty, which is indeed amazing. It can tolerate the temperatures of pewter casting for a time. Eventually it degrades. So what we're doing today is we're actually doing a bunch of these spoons to make sure we get our money's worth out of the mold before we set it aside and move on to other projects for a while. So here's the hard shell. This is Ultra Cal. And then I put Durham's Rock Hard Putty on top of that, and there's wire in here to reinforce it. And then we get to the amazing mold putty part of it, silicone-based mold putty, and let's see how this came out.
The big reveal.
No, it's not bad. It's got a little more pitting than I'd like. If you look down here, it's got irregularities in the surface. Let's get the rest of the way out of here and take a look. Oh, the skull came out pretty nice. So this is spoon number 4.
Yay!
For today. Just set that there. So what we're going to do is we're going to put this back together again. And then we are going to cast another spoon. Typically in a video like this we would cast it first and then show you how it turned out. But to avoid editing, we are taking it apart, showing you the end result, and then we'll show you the casting process. So doing it in reverse. And let's see. Here we have got some zip ties, which just for expediency we're going to zip tie it together this time. Zip tie. There are, of course, a lot of ways to fasten these that are more professional. One of the things that I thought would be really good that we're not doing at this point, because we're not that up to speed, is to use springs, which would be good for holding it in place, giving you some tension, and also not burning.
Do you need to do something on the bottom? Oh, you're going to do it.
Yeah, I can do a little bit more.
I was going to say,
just in case. We had one of these leak earlier because I didn't tighten it down enough. Now, just tightening it by hand like that isn't sufficient, so I'm also running shims up through there to put more tension on it. Put the narrow edge of the shim in and then run it through. And of course there are professional straps for molds as well, which we have never had. So there it is, cobbled together and ready to cast. Now, in here we've got our professional casting area. Now, one of the things we don't have that is really important to have is a pyrometer, which is kind of like a thermometer.
for pie?
I should have thought of that. But a pyrometer you can use for lead casting and pewter casting to determine you're casting at the right temperature, which is critical. I've never had one, and I've done a lot of casting. So what I'll usually do is I'll take the stuff here, and I'll add some extra solid pewter just prior to casting. What that does is I can judge by how rapidly it's melting what the temperature is, and I can also use that last lump of solid pewter to cool it off a bit. So it won't be at maximum temperature, which can cause a bad casting. And somehow I misplaced my scraping spoon. Oh, there it is. There we go. this is what we're using as a skimmer to get the impurities and oxidation off of there, which we don't want it getting down into our casting. And then we take this and here we go. Looks like silver, but so we pour the pewter down in there. Got a little reservoir up at the top.
I do not see any leakage on the bottom.
Yeah, it's not leaking
Nice,
this time,
nice.
so I tightened it down enough. So we just allow this to cool. You wait for it to solidify. You wait for it to solidify, but then you also give it enough time to harden, because if it's really hot, it'll still be bendy. And then you end up with this. This is the most recent one, of course. We just took that one out. And then here's some other examples of what we've been getting today. This is the one before. More or less the same.
Yeah, it's coming out nice.
Decent level of detail. We'll have to go in here and take away these mold marks with like an X-Acto blade or some files or some sandpaper, or, you know, some combination of those. And then, let's see, this one was the one before that. And then we have our very first one of the day, this guy.
That.
So they've been coming out pretty decent.
Yep, yep.
And the level of detail varies a bit. So we have got a working mold. We'll be churning these out for today, and then we'll go on to other projects for later. Fun casting. Have fun casting yourself.